Arcadian Vanguard presents the Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Thursday, October 31st, 2024. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin this Halloween edition with last night's AEW Dynamite broadcast live on TBS from the Wolstein Center in Cleveland. The show included a World Tag Team title change, the AEW debut of Bobby Lashley in the main event set for Full Gear. In the main event, Shelton Benjamin lost to Swerve Strickland. Afterward, Bobby Lashley appeared at the side of MVP, and the two of them took out Strickland and Prince Nana.
Bobby Lashley, a multi-time champion around the world. I cannot believe my eyes. First time that we have ever seen this man on TBS. I've seen it all now, guys.
Lashley then put Strickland in the Hurt Lock to end the show. Private Party became the 15th AEW World Tag Team Champions, ending the third reign of the Young Bucks at 193 days.
The winners of this match, and new AEW World Tag Team Champions, Private Party.
Wow, what a wonderful Dynamite moment. Private Party ascending to the top floor, kicking in the doors of the executive vice presidents and taking their destiny in their own hands.
Orange Cassidy laid down a challenge to AEW World Champion Jon Moxley for a match at Full Gear, which was confirmed later in the show after a brawl involving multiple AEW wrestlers, including the Blackpool Combat Club, Orange Cassidy, the Dark Order, Darby Allin, and Private Party. In other results, Adam Cole beat Buddy Matthews, and Chris Statlander dealt Camille her first pinfall loss in AEW, and the first pinfall loss of any kind since losing the NWA World Women's title to Kenzie Page in August of last year. After the match, TBS champion Mercedes Moné hit Statlander with her title belt. In ratings news, NXT this week drew 588,000 viewers to the CW, according to Programming Insider. That's a loss of more than 15% of the audience from last week's viewership of 702,000. The rating in the 18 to 49-year-old demographic was a .14, also down from last week's rating of .16. And in independent wrestling news, Nick Gage revealed yesterday that he has officially parted ways with Game Changer Wrestling. On the YouTube podcast Boulevard Bullies vs. the World, Gage stated, quote, "First off, Brett Lauderdale is my friend, my best friend. He's done a lot for my career. GCW is always going to be my home. I love Brett. I love his family. Sometimes you have to move on in your career. Sometimes you don't see eye to eye with your friends. It is what it is. Maybe down the road we can sit down. It's business. It's a little bit of everything. Life moves on. You have to keep trucking." End quote. Gage also revealed that he had recently done a stint in drug rehab. GCW owner Brett Lauderdale had declared last August that Gage would be out of GCW for an indefinite amount of time after Gage missed a booking at GCW's homecoming event. Gage is currently booked to wrestle Sami Callihan on Saturday in Chicago at the Heels Have Eyes 3 for rapper Westside Gunn's independent promotion, Fourth Rope Wrestling. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.